In this lesson, we're going to use the distance formula to find missing sides. So the distance formula, given any 2 points, the straight line distance between them is the formula, the square root of x sub 2 minus x sub 1 quantity squared plus y sub 2 minus y sub 1 quantity squared. So in other words, you're going to take your x's and subtract them, then square them. Take your y's and subtract them, then square them. Add those two numbers together, and then take the square root of that number, and then you can find the distance of any line. So let's do this one as an example. It says use the distance formula to find the diameter of a circle. So recall that the diameter of a circle is from one end of the circle all the way to the other end of the circle on the other side. And what we want to know with the diameter is what is that length? How long is that from one end of a circle to the other end? So all we have to do is just take 2 points on each end, any 2 points, and plug them into the distance formula, and we'll be able to find out what the diameter or the length or distance of that line. So step 1 would be to, in this case, we need to identify the 2 endpoints. So using our knowledge of how to plot points on the rectangular coordinate system, where is point 1? Well, to find point 1 from the point of origin, you would go over the negative side. 1, 2, 3 to the negative side. So my x coordinate is going to be -3. To get to the point, I'm going to go down 1, 2. Anytime you go down, that's a negative. So point 1 is located at -3, -2. How about point 2? Where is it located? Well, from the point of origin, to get there, we would have to go to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So our x coordinate is 5. And to get to that point, I need to go up 1, 2, 3, 4. Therefore, my second point would be at 5, 4. Once you've identified your 2 points, you're going to simply go ahead and plug them into the distance formula. Now, it really doesn't matter which one you let be point 1 and which one you let be point 2. It'll still work out the same. You just need to get your x's together, subtract them, get your y's together and subtract them. Now I'm going to follow it just as the formula states, which is x sub 2 minus x sub 1, and then plus y sub 2 minus y sub 1. So I'm going to plug them in like so, and by the way, I'm going to let -3, -2, let that be 0.1. And I'm going to let 5, 4 be 0.2, but again, it really doesn't matter which one you let be 0.1 or 2. You'll still come up with the same answer. All right, so go ahead and plug those points in. When you plug them in, it should look like so. Remember, double negatives become positive. -3, but with a negative in front of it becomes +3. -2, but with a negative in front of it becomes +2. So what you're going to wind up with is 5 plus 3, which is 8, and then 4 plus 2, which is 6. We're going to go ahead and square those numbers. 8 squared is 8 times 8, which is 64. 6 squared is 6 times 6, which is 36. All we need to do now is go ahead and add those two numbers together. And lastly, find the square root of it. And the square root of 100 is 10. So that line is 10 units long, the distance of it. That is the diameter. And if you were asked to find the radius, which is the halfway point, then you would just simply divide that in half, or divide it by 2, which means the radius would be 5. But in this example, we were asked to find the diameter of the circle. So the diameter, using the distance formula, is 10 units. Let's apply the distance formula without any graph or anything here. We want to find the distance between the 2 points given. We're given a point 2, -5, and another point of 1, -4. And these are the endpoints, and we want to find out how long this particular line is, or how many units in terms of its distance or length. So let's go ahead and plug it into the distance formula. So when we do so, it's going to look like so. For the first set of numbers here, we have a +1 combined with a -2. That's going to give me -1. Remember, double negatives become positive, -5, but with a negative in front of it becomes +5. So when you have -4 combined with a +5, that's going to give you a +1. So what we have here is -1 squared and 1 squared. And when we square both of them, we're simply going to get 1, because -1 times -1 is +1. 1 times 1 is also 1. Now we just need to add the two numbers. 1 plus 1 is 2. And our answer is square root of 2. Now you can't remove it from the symbol if you want to write it as a radical, because 2 is not perfect. However, if you want to write it as a decimal, all you need to do is into your calculator type in the square root of 2, and so the decimal approximation would be 1.41. Now it's very important that you know how to write it in either form, because on the test or quiz, you may see the choices, the answer choices, the ABC choices as all radical form, or you may see the choices in decimal form. So just make sure that you know how to write your answer either in radical form or in decimal form. And there you have it, the distance formula.